Hello children, how are you? Hope you all are fine. Today we are going to learn about aquatic plants. But before going ahead, let us revise what you have learned last time. Yes, the features of plants growing in desert region. Plants that grow in desert are called as xerophytes. The stem is thick and fleshy so that it can store water and food. The leaves of these plants are like spines to reduce water loss due to heat. Roots are spread out wide to absorb water. And the examples of plants growing in desert are cactus, bubble, kika, prickly and date palm. Aqua means water and aquatic means living in water. Aquatic plants are divided into three different types: floating plants, fixed plants and underwater plants. So let us study about floating plants. The features that floating plants show are as follows. First one, they have spongy body which help them to float in water. And the example is duckweed. Second features of the floating plants is their roots are not fixed in the waterbed and that's why they are very poorly developed. Here in this picture you can see the roots of the plants. The name of this plant is water lettuce. And you know what? The waxy leaves of these plants prevent stomata from damage so that they can easily breathe through their stomatas. The examples are water lettuce and water hyacinth. So children, let us revise quickly what characters we have studied of floating plants. They have spongy body. The roots of these plants are not fixed in the waterbed and are very poorly developed. Waxy leaves of this plant prevent stomata from damage. And the examples of floating plants are duckweed, water hyacinth and water lettuce. Now, second type of aquatic plants are fixed plants. The roots of these plants are fixed to the waterbed. That's why they are called as fixed plants. And the example is water lily. Do you know how are the stems of such fixed plants? These plants have hollow stems which help the broad leaves and flowers to float in water. You must have seen lotus plants growing in ponds and lakes. How are the stomatas of such fixed plants? The stomatas are present on the upper surface of the leaves so that they can breathe easily. And example here you can see water lily. So children, are you ready? Can you tell me the features of the fixed plants? Yes, right. The roots of fixed plants are fixed to the bottom of the waterbed. The stem is flexible and hollow. The stomatas of these plants are present on the upper surface of the leaves. And the examples of such plants are water lily, lotus and hydrilla. Now, it's time to study the last type of aquatic plants, that is underwater plants. What are the features of underwater plants and how they are different from fixed plants and floating plants? First one, these plants grow totally underwater, so they are also called as submerged plants. And the example here you can see is Vallisneria. As these plants are completely submerged under water, the leaves of such plants are narrow and very thin, and they do not have stomata. So, how do they breathe? They breathe through their other body parts. As these plants are growing completely under the water, they do not have very thick stems. They have very delicate and flexible shoots. Example is tape grass. The another feature of these plants is they do not have stomata. They breathe through their body parts. As their leaves are very narrow and thin, they do not have stomata. Example, pondweed. As you know, it's time for recap. The features of the underwater plants. They do not have stomata, hence breathe through their body parts. Their shoots are very delicate and flexible. These plants use carbon dioxide breathed out by aquatic animals. And the examples of such plants are tape grass, pondweed and Vallisneria. Children, do you know that aquatic plants are source of food for fish and other wildlife such as turtles, ducks, insects, etc. living in water? Aquatic plants also help to improve water quality by absorbing pollutants present in the water. They also provide shade and protection for fish from the predators both above and below the water. Thank you.